3 straight sets in a reverse sweep over your arch nemesis in Louisville.
I think Rachel Fairbanks for Pitt said it best. She said, we are on a business trip. We are here to win a national championship. And this Pitt team is on a mission.
They have been so close. Is tonight the night they break through? No surprise though, ladies, there's a lot of red in the stands in Amalie Arena here in Tampa. Nebraska travels well.
Sold out how many months ago? And I think that was in part because of Nebraska fans.
A long time ago. Backside, and there goes Olivia Babcock, her first swing in the semifinals.
And for Pitt, a freshman passed that ball, freshman terminated. 31 of 33 matches led by freshmen for Pitt.
Olivia Babcock, the number 43 overall player. Newer to the sport of volleyball, but Dan Fisher convinced her that volleyball was her calling, not soccer, and that'll be a service error for Pitt, point for Nebraska.
Could you imagine if she was in a goalie somewhere?
I'm glad she's not.
Well, she also said she didn't like the running part of soccer.
Here's Harper Murray for Nebraska. The Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Vasquez Gomez. Amy Klicka steps up to bump set that to Tori Stafford, another outstanding freshman for Pitt. Merritt Beeson, the Florida transfer. Fairbanks back to Stafford, and Lexi Rodriguez is there. Harper Murray out of the back row. Babcock. Bergen Riley calling on Merritt Beeson again, the leader, the captain of Nebraska.
We're going to see a lot of extended rallies like that, working from pin to pin. Finally, Merritt Beeson finds a seam in that Pitt block.
With such good defenses, it stresses you mentally. Can you remain focused during a long rally and keep that ball in play?
Fairbanks throws it up for Babcock. Rodriguez will set up. Allie Batenhorst, and she is blocked by Olivia Babcock. Get that hand up there.
With such big blocks on both sides, the 2 setters that you're watching today, they have to be really precise with their location. If they leave the ball inside, Holly, you're leaving them in a closet against these big blocks.
Definitely, and Olivia Babcock, number 5 on the right side for Pitt, is a monster block.
Cat Flood serving. She goes after Harper Murray, and it's an ace for Flood. Dan Fisher in his 11th season. They are the only team in the last 3 semifinals. They have 6 players that are playing in their 3rd national semifinal.
You have to imagine that experience, being able to draw on being on this stage so many times, has to be helpful here tonight.
They go back at Murray. She handles it better. Merritt Beeson off hands. Cat Flood steps in to set up Babcock. And she'll take a piece of the block with her. Olivia Babcock does not look faced.
Well, Pitt likes to go high, and it doesn't need to be fast for Olivia Babcock because she is so high. Her point of contact, working the outside hand of the block down the line.
Keep going after Harper Murray and serve receive. Fairbanks to Tori Stafford, and she's stuffed. Becca Alec and Merritt Beeson.
Nebraska returning the favor. Pitt has been going after Harper Murray in serve receive. They really want to test her out.
So now Lexi Rodriguez, the 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, back to serve for Nebraska. Fairbanks on the move up to Babcock. Andy Jackson, one of the true freshmen that have stepped up for Nebraska.
Really nice job by Nebraska, forcing Pittsburgh out of system. This set is low and tight, and it leaves Olivia Babcock with not very many options. Great job blocking. Really nice job by Andy Jackson, working to get out to close that block.
Don't you think in these first few points, we're going to see these teams feel each other out because of the big block on both sides?
Definitely. The court is shrunk. When you're playing a great defensive team, it's hard to find open floor.
Tori Stafford tipping. just wide. Point Nebraska. Well, John Cook was named the AVCA Coach of the Year for the 3rd time in his career. So well-deserved. Guys, he has no seniors on this roster. He has 6 new players. 5 of them are freshmen. And they have only lost 1 match all season.
And I think he's having a lot of fun this year coaching. He's got a young group, but he's got 2 amazing assistant coaches. You see Olivia Babcock elevate on the right side and crush that ball versus Nebraska defense.
I agree with you. He might not look it, but we swear he's having a ton of fun, and that's because of the youth on this Nebraska team.
He said he's been a lot more patient.
You have to be, right, with young players who are learning this for the first time.
Babcock trying to fire off a big serve, and it's a service error. She already has 3 kills, hitting 400. A true freshman, Olivia Babcock, out of Los Angeles.
She's also the best server so far in the NCAA tournament with 50 aces. Actually, not 50 aces on the season, but she does lead the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 10 aces in the tournament. Fairbanks gets it out of the net. Stafford tips it over. Batenhorst. Andy Jackson with the slam. Here comes Babcock out of the back row. And Nebraska could challenge this. I think the ball hit the antenna.
Yeah, when Rachel Fairbanks went up to the net and dug that ball out, it almost looked like the ball grazed the antenna.
And Jalen Reyes went over and picked the green challenge card up and handed it to John Cook.
He
said,
begged him. Begged him to make that challenge. He was certain that ball hit the antenna.
And so Nebraska has used that challenge. You get 2 challenges per match. Unless we go to a 5th set, each team will get an additional challenge. If you're correct in your challenge, you get to keep it. I don't think it hit the antenna there.
From that angle, it did not appear that it did.
No, and I think what messes with your eyes if you're Jalen Reyes across the court is that antenna is already wobbling back and forth.
You're right.
I also don't see Pitt being in the net there. That's another thing they could look at on this challenge. Yeah, I think the net was already moving because the ball grabbed it on the way down. They can look for it hitting the antenna and also a player in the net.
Also, just really good pursuit by Pittsburgh, by the way.
Yes.
To get that point.
I mean, that's the defense we're talking about, right? There's going to be scrappy plays on both sides.
A lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of ice packs needed after this one.
So Daphne Nelson is our R2. She's the one taking a look and making the decision on this. And again, Nebraska thought it hit the antenna. You can see there it does not. If the ball did hit the antenna, it would be out. And I think we have a decision. So the call is confirmed. Nebraska will go down to 1 challenge. Unless we go to a 5th set, they'll get an additional challenge. So here's Tori Stafford. She was the number 12 overall recruit in this class, a true freshman, all ACC first team selection, and a 3rd team All-American. Andy Jackson on the slide, dug up by Pitt. Fairbanks and Valeria Vasquez Gomez got tripped up on the Pitt side. Seemed to be okay. Allie Batenhorst saved by Stafford. Andy Jackson by herself stuffed it.
The eye work by Andy Jackson, the freshman, number 15 in white. Look at her see that ball go the other direction, get out and over the net to block that ball for Nebraska.
What did Dan Fisher tell us? We asked him about Nebraska. He said, Andy Jackson is a bad matchup for us.
She's a problem. She's a problem for everybody because she is so dynamic and so fast.
Service error, point Pitt. Seven all, we're going to 25. Dylan Griffin checking in to serve for the Pitt Panthers. Lexi Rodriguez with the layup. Merritt Beeson in front of a triple block. Bergen Riley calling on Harper Murray, her fellow freshman. Babcock. Riley back to Harper Murray. Through the block of Rachel Fairbanks.
Really nice job by Harper Murray tracking that set, feeling that there was a gap between Rachel Fairbanks and the net, and she's able just to push this ball through. Nice strong tip.
So Kennedy Orr, who has shifted into that serving specialist role for Nebraska, will sub in. Also a setter for the Cornhuskers. Fairbanks going to the middle with Emma Monks.
Becca Alec making her case to her coaches that she didn't touch it, but remember, they've already lost a challenge early on in set one.
Yeah, it's hard to pull this second challenge card, right? You're down to one challenge.
In the first set.
I know, unless we go to a fifth.
He was definitely...
No touch, and it was out. So Nebraska keeps its challenge. They have one remaining unless we go to a fifth set. It's a lot of trust there with John Cook and Becca Alec.
This is a rotation for Pitt where the center, Rachel Fairbanks, is in the front row. Two hitters stacked, Emma Monks.
Fairbanks has to get it up with one hand to Valeria Vasquez Gomez, and she'll terminate. And that gets them out.
A nice job, Courtney, by Rachel Fairbanks on the run here. One hand just gets her out of trouble, and then Vasquez Gomez is in a one-on-one situation because of the save. Nice job by Fairbanks there.
Really athletic move to get under and lift that so her hitter can attack that.
The role has changed for Rachel Fairbanks. This is the first time this season in her career that she is setting in the front row as Pitt is running a 5-1 and not a 6-2 system.
She grew up playing in a 6-2 offense. That's where she would hit across the front row set from the back row, except for the summers when she trained with USA. She was able to run a 5-1 and get some experience there. But with the personnel on Pitt, with a right-sider like Olivia Babcock, you need Rachel Fairbanks in a 5-1.
We did ask her, do you miss attacking? She goes, man, I do love it. But it is really exciting to set up my great hitters and they get a kill.
It's a different kind of satisfaction.
Having two setters sitting next to me, I'm sure you know what that's like. Harper Murray drops it in the corner.
Harper Murray loves the big stage. You see the dig here and then the push out to the pin. Harper Murray, deep corner. Love that swing.
Harper Murray has carried a very big load for Nebraska all season, playing all 6 rotations. True freshman, Vasquez Gomez. Riley back to Murray. Klicka steps in to set up Babcock. Vasquez Gomez had to reach behind her to get it and couldn't get it all the way over the net. In flies Murray, and she is shut down. Emma Monks.
So Nebraska's a little out of system here. You got to go to a bump set from Lexi Rodriguez. It's a little bit tight, and look at that block between Emma Monks and Olivia Babcock. It's an absolute wall.
Maybe recycle that, tip into the block, play it back. She had nowhere to go.
No, absolutely.
2 blocks now for Pitt, 3 for Nebraska in this match. Beeson tooling the block, and hit the block and then the antenna, so the point goes to Nebraska.
Merritt Beeson's showing her versatility, attacking on the left side. Olivia Babcock's really high over the net. She needs to be disciplined with pressing over the net, keeping her hands on the opponent's side.
Fairbanks to Tori Stafford. Point Nebraska.
Tori Stafford telling Dan Fisher, yes, that ball touched me on the way out.
Got her shoulder.
Right off her shoulder.
Yep.
Good eyes.
Stafford off hands, and Pitt's having to do this. Fairbanks is on the move a lot right now.
But she is so good at setting her team in system. Even though she's on the run, look at the tempo and the pace of this ball out to Tori Stafford. Really nice job by Rachel Fairbanks on the run, keeping her team in system.
And that's what makes her special. She has a wide range where she can keep Pitt in system running that tempo.
In system meaning they have all three attacking options they can go to. Allie Batenhorst dug up by Flood. Stafford crushing it down the line.
We talk about Harper Murray carrying a big load for Nebraska, but Tori Stafford does the same thing for Pitt. She passes 6 rotations. Look at her crossbody down the line for Pitt. That's a big kill.
And the passion, too, it's contagious. Her teammates love feeding off of her joy and her energy.
And her poise.
Dan Fisher told us she competes from a place of joy, and that's definitely something that's contagious. Right to the donut, the middle of the floor.
Kat Flood a little bit tentative, number 3 in yellow. She was looking at that instead of laying down to dig that for Pitt. You cannot be tentative.
Fairbanks backside to Babcock, and Allie Batenhorst wins the battle. Nebraska's block prevailing, and the Cornhuskers the first to 15 points.
Hold their opponents to low numbers. And both teams right now hitting 1. Pitt is hitting negative, and Nebraska's hitting .087.
What are you seeing out of Pitt right now that's giving them problems?
Well, I think they've done a nice job at the net getting block touches, and that's a really nice swing from Stafford to get the kill. They're playing sloppy. They've got 8 airs, 8 kills, so they're literally hitting 0 for the match. Similar to the way they started against Louisville a weekend ago, they were a little bit sloppy, took them a little bit to get going. If they play clean, high-level volleyball, we could be seeing a different score here.
And against Louisville, they were down 2 sets to none and got the reverse sweep. They won 3 sets in a row to punch their ticket to Tampa. Babcock back row. Yes.
Olivia Babcock said when she came to Pitt, she was not a very good defensive player, and she's really worked on it. Look at her control that ball, and then big transition kill deep in the court for Pitt.
Looked like Harper Murray couldn't decide if that was in or out.
And a service error by Babcock, her second tonight.
She'll tell you, my greatest strength is my serve, my greatest weakness is my serve.
If it's on, it is on. I'll tell you though, watching both of these teams, ladies, they never panic. We've seen them both tested. They don't hit the panic button. That is 6 blocks for Nebraska, and we are in the first set.
Allie Batenhorst is long at 6'5". She comes in from left front and helps Andy Jackson to block that ball.
Nebraska's done such a nice job of staying home, always tracking Babcock out of the back row.
So what is the adjustment the hitters for Pitt have to make?
Courtney, why you always got to ask the hard questions?
Hey, it's the question everybody wants to know if you're a Pitt fan.
For starters, they got to start passing the ball a little bit better so Rachel Fairbanks has all of her options at her disposal. They become one-dimensional because they're out of system, so you know the ball is going to the back row.
Makes it easier on the block. Beeson handles that beautifully. Allie Batenhorst is going to get hands.
Beautiful pass by Merritt Beeson, and then obviously Batenhorst going flat and high off the hands. Bergen Riley, the freshman setter for Nebraska, locates that ball perfectly for her outside hitter.
Allie Batenhorst has had to step up when Lindsey Krause went down with injury back in October. She has taken over. Batenhorst has that other outside hitter spot. No touch. That one sails long on Olivia Babcock.
One of the things Dan Fisher talked about, he said, look, we're both great defensive teams, but we're more aggressive offensively. Nebraska up. Yeah, you want to lose if you're going to lose during the season, not during the NCAA tournament.
Long serve out of the timeout by Lainey Choboy, and a point for Pitt. So Pitt called that last timeout. They are hitting 0 right now with 10 attacking errors here in set 1.
What's wild, Nebraska only has 6 kills in this first set. I mean, they've done this defensively and also because Pittsburgh right now is beating themselves.
And 6 blocks for Nebraska, 2 for Pitt. Harper Murray, off speed in the middle of the court.
Really nice job by Harper Murray. She's already showed you a couple of her tools in her toolkit. That she can go hard cross court, she can tip the ball through the block, and then she can just finesse you with a nice roll shot to the donut of the court.
Harper Murray, the Gatorade National Player of the Year, was the #1 overall recruit. Fairbanks to Emma Monks, and Fairbanks didn't have to move very much.
No, perfect pass, and then Emma Monks is long, #9 in yellow, just a paintbrush kill to the middle of the court.
So Fairbanks, Pitt setter, rotates to the back. The back row, she'll have 3 attacking options in the front row to set. Still serving at Harper Murray to make her pass. She's going to tool their block for a kill. Nebraska, the race to 25 points.
John Cook talked about Harper Murray, the load that she carries for this team. Teams serve her, and then she's got to swing high off the hand. She's got all the offensive tools going off the inside hand of Emma Monks, the Pitt middle blocker.
And look at her numbers right now. In their last match against Arkansas, she hit 163. She's at 375 right now. Runs out of contacts. They can't get it back over.
I love what John Cook told us about Harper Murray. He said she is one of the best, if not the best player in the country after 20 points. He said, watch, when we get to 20, she is involved in almost every single point that gets us to a set win, and we've seen that thus far.
Harper Murray championship for the first time ever, Sunday at 3 Eastern on ABC. We are so excited. For more information on all 90 NCAA championships, visit ncaa.com. This is just our first of 2 semifinals tonight. Texas and Wisconsin will start about 35 minutes after this match concludes. Texas, of course, the defending national champions. Nebraska's defense and poise has served them well here in set 1. 3 points away from taking the opening set.
Speaking of poise, you were just looking at it. Bergen Riley almost is a statue in terms of the way that she plays. You never know what she's thinking, how she's feeling. She is so even-keeled and steady for this team.
Well, she told us yesterday, she's like, look, I've played up my whole life, so I'm not intimidated by this stage. When she was in 8th grade, she was playing on varsity. When she was 13, she was setting for the 18 teams. She is used to playing in the big moment with older players with a lot of experience.
It's a good sign for Pitt. That looked really good coming out of the hand of Valeria Vasquez Gomez, her 2nd kill. Vasquez Gomez was part of Pitt's first round of 18 back in 2020, and she's been to the last 2 semifinals with them, now in her 3rd. Tori Stafford on the chase. Riley to Merritt Beeson.
Merritt Beeson sneaking it through the seam on the block. Olivia Babcock is high, and that allows that ball to sneak through. You have to press that inside hand, either Emma Monks or Olivia Babcock, to close that seam for the Pitt block.
Raising the tape, and Emmy Klicka gets it up. Stafford is long, and it's set point Nebraska. Pitt's going to make a substitution. They'll sub out Valeria Vasquez-Gomez and bring in Logan Mosley, a defensive specialist, to pass in the back row. Stafford puts it right on the head of Fairbanks and drops it in the corner. Second set point, Nebraska.
We talked about the poise of Tori Stafford. She passes this ball perfectly, and then look at that smart swing deep to the corner to avoid the Nebraska defense.
Rodriguez will have to set Batenhorst. Cuts it too sharp. Third set point, Nebraska. Pitt has consistently gone after Harper Murray, number 27 in white for Nebraska. Third set point, Cornhuskers. Harper Murray struggles with the pass. Batenhorst. What a save. Nebraska gets a free ball backside to Merritt Beeson. In flies Stafford. Three blockers in front of her. Nebraska's block has formed a wall in Tampa. 8 blocks in the first set.
Unbelievable start defensively, 8 blocks, and it was unbelievable defense by Nebraska to win the first set.